Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good time in the AC just shut off. Today we're looking at TRN. As usual, comes in a very minimalist box. This is the VX, and this is a new flagship. People that remember the V90 and the V80. This is a complete departure from that. Sound signature. If you like those, you're probably not going to like this, or maybe you will. I don't know. I think it sounds good. Let's get down to the specs. It is a 14 driver, that's 7 per side. One of those is a 10mm dynamic driver each side, so there's 2 dynamic drivers and all the rest are balanced armatures. We have an impedance of 22 ohms. The sensitivity is 107 decibels per milliwatt. Frequency response is a very low 7 hertz to 40,000 hertz, which is very high. So technically it's high res. I'm doing my fingers, but you can't see it on the camera. It has a 2-pin connector. It's the QDC type, which means it's a sheathed 2-pin. A regular 2-pin can work, but it'll look kind of silly. Comes with these extra tips, which are the stereotypical kind of smokish with the red innards, TRN, KB, Air, CVJ style tip. I guess TRN probably did them first. TRN style cable because it's TRN. This one has a microphone, which is normally the splitter would be metal. This is actually cold. I think this is actually metal. I'll be darned. I didn't know that until I felt it now because of the AC. The one button works pretty good, by the way. The microphone on this, it's pretty clear for anybody who's interested. I like to have some cables. I don't like everyone to be like that, but I like to have some with the, because I like to take phone calls with them. And here is the unit itself. Looks a little like the raw Penta shape. It's got this feathered edge right there. These do not, there's no problem with pain there. These are very comfortable. Nice matte, soft finish, black. There you see the tip. Shower head filter on the nozzle, which is also metal. There you see the 2-pin connector, which sticks out because it's a QDC. Left and right indicators. There's a little air hole back there for the dynamic driver. Put those aside. We've gone over the specs. We've gone over the minimal accessories typical for TRN. Comes in a little package, kind of like KZ and everything else. It's a simple package. It's not a simple IEM, that's for sure. There are a lot of drivers shoved in there. And sometimes when you have a lot of drivers, you have, it gets kind of iffy, crowded when listening to certain music and everything. These don't do that. These have a very good coherence with the drivers. Definitely, there is definitely some quality imaging on these and micro imaging as well. The low frequency. It's definitely not for a bass head. It doesn't go low. There is a slight emphasis on the sub bass, but the bass overall is very, very fast. It's a fast, tight bass. It's got a good punch to it, but it's not overly boomy. You can see that on the graphs. I don't have one in front of me, of course, because I don't really do graphs. Because sometimes things look really good on a graph and then they sound awful when you listen to them, or maybe you just don't like them. Very, very good bass quality. There's quantity and quality. There's definitely no lack of bass on these. They're just not Don't think of them like a replacement for the V90s. They're not even close to that sound signature. That's a total V shape. I happen to like those. I like the V80 a little bit better than the V90. Um, has some nice thick bass on it. Some people don't like thick bass. This definitely is not a thick bass. It is a rapid, light, and fast bass. Very, very tight and punchy. The mid-frequency range has like some super strong details. Kind of an unnatural forwardness to it, but the vocals are there. Not overly shouty, not nasally. Definitely just right there, forward and in front of you. Um, it's pleasing for a lot of different tracks, to be quite honest. There's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of good details, and seriously, I think a lot of people are gonna like that. So another mid-high centered IAM that has some decent bass, which is good because a lot of times when you had mid-high centered IAMs, there was like no bass whatsoever. There's some bass there, and it's good bass, and it's quality bass, but it's not going to be a boomy bass. So keep that in mind. Soundstage is excellent with these. It doesn't have a lot of depth to it, but it is a wide enough soundstage to be appreciated by a lot of people. I really do like the soundstage on these. I think the last couple of IMs that I've had, very, very good. Definitely decent soundstage on them. Great clarity. The drivers, of course, have varied on the different ones that I've tried. Like the Zero is an electrostatic and a dynamic. This one has 14 drivers. The last one that we did, the CSN, was 12 drivers. A lot of nice, the driver wars are still going on. We're getting all these cool new configurations, these new sound signatures. I really, really dig them. Even though I'm more of a V-shaped type person, I can appreciate these because it's nice to, you can't have V-shape all the time. You can get fatigued with a lot of bass. You can have some mild V-shapes, which you can listen to forever. But sometimes you want something different. Sometimes you want something flat. That's why I got my P1s from Tin. Sometimes I want some critical listening. Sometimes you want something completely different. And there it is, the TRN VX. The highs, treble heads will definitely like these. There is a very, 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 very good treble definition. There's some excellent clarity and details up in the high frequency. It really is, I don't know, really, really good sparkle to it. The highs are definitely quality highs. Treble sensitive people, maybe a little too much treble for you. To me, it wasn't harsh at all. You have to remember, also, it's a good baseline. You could EQ these incredibly. So the detail and imaging is just out of this world for this. This has some really good detail and imaging. There's some really good energy to these. It's a really enjoyable signature. To be honest, this is another unusual tuning in a crowded market where there's a lot of V-shapes. Now there seems to be a lot of unique tuning signatures, similar in some ways, mids forward, big sound stage. Some have more depth. Some are equally, maybe a squared sound stage that's as equally wide as it is deep. These are wider than they're deep. They have a very rapid bass, a little bit elevation in the sub bass. Mids are very clear and forward, mid-centered and high-centered. Highs have a lot of sparkle on them. That's basically it in a nutshell. That's your sound signature. Comfort-wise, extremely comfortable, at least for my ears. From what I've read, a lot of other people find them very comfortable. I wouldn't recommend these for sleeping because of the size. They're a little bit bigger than the average medium-size ones. They're not quite the larger size IEMs, but they're definitely not, for me at least, good for sleeping because they have a little bit of a size to them and they stick out a little bit. It can be uncomfortable if you sleep on your side. Really, build quality, excellent. For this price range, this thing is definitely outstanding, unless you don't like the signature. I mean, you know, I can't make you like what you don't like. If you want just strictly V-shaped, you know, go with the other ones that are out there. There are a lot of really good V-shaped ones, like the Diamond and the V90 and the V80 and others. But for this amount of resolution, detail, it really is really outstanding value, to be quite honest. Very impressed with these. Will these remain on top? Now we had the CVJs, which I like very much. Those are also metal 12 drivers. We have these, and now we have the Zero. I'll have the video for the Zero out shortly. That one being an E-stat driver and a dynamic, and we'll see how that's tuned, and that should be out maybe in a day or two. So I hope this was informative to you. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, please be safe, and I'll see you somewhere out on the internet. Thank you.